Forget destined heroes. What if the protagonist was an ordinary person trying to survive a world actively hostile to his life and sanity? That is the premise of Lord of the Mysteries, a story that drops a modern man named Joe Mingri into a dark steampunk world of secret cults, divine power, and cosmic horror. Today we're breaking down the complete first season of his journey, from his disorienting arrival to the devastating finale that changes everything. This initial part is spoiler-free, but be aware, we will be delving into specific plot details later on. Consider this your official spoiler warning for the recap and analysis sections. The story begins in the year 1349 of the fifth epic in the Kingdom of LotM. The setting is reminiscent of Victorian-era London, but with a more pronounced and sinister undercurrent. On the surface, it's a world of steam engines, industrial smog, and gas lamps, but beneath this veneer, unseen forces are constantly at play. Secret societies vie for influence, ancient gods manipulate events from the shadows, and the ever-present crimson moon serves as a constant reminder of the madness that waits in the darkness. We experience this world through the eyes of Joe Mingri, a man from modern-day China who, after attempting a strange luck-enhancing ritual, awakens in the body of Klein Moretti. This new vessel comes with a fresh bullet hole in the head from a recent suicide, fragmented memories of a life that wasn't his own, and the feeling of being a burden to his siblings, Benson and Melissa. From the very beginning, his goal isn't grand or heroic. It's about survival, understanding what has happened to him, and, if possible, finding a way back home. So, how does the supernatural manifest in this world? This is where the series introduces its meticulously crafted power system. Individuals known as Beyonders gain powers by consuming magical potions. The entire system is organized into 22 distinct pathways, each corresponding to a major arcana tarot card such as the Fool, the Magician, or the Hanged Man. Each pathway contains 10 descending sequences of power, starting at the entry-level Sequence 9 and culminating at Sequence 0, which is effectively godhood. To advance, a Beyonder must acquire the formula for the next sequence's potion, gather the often bizarre and dangerous ingredients, and consume the concoction. However, there's a significant risk. Each advancement brings greater power but also pushes the individual closer to madness. This is governed by a fundamental principle: the law of Beyonder characteristics, indestructibility, and conservation. This law dictates that supernatural power never truly disappears. It is merely transferred, and with it come the residual will and madness of its previous owners. If a Beyonder fails to maintain their grip on their sanity, they lose control and transform into a rampaging monster. This constant threat of psychological collapse creates a persistent, underlying tension that permeates every aspect of the story. A key mechanic for safely advancing, which the Orthodox churches keep secret, is the acting method. Instead of passively waiting for a potion's power to digest over years, a Beyonder can act out the core principles of their sequence's name. For example, a seer must act like a true diviner, observing the world and offering guidance while respecting fate. This process of role-playing allows a Beyonder to master the power rather than be consumed by it, dramatically shortening the time needed to advance. The plot truly ignites when Klein discovers that the original Klein's suicide is linked to a mysterious notebook belonging to the ancient Antigonus family. This notebook is a cursed artifact, and its possession immediately places him on the radar of the Church of the Evernight Goddess and their clandestine force of Beyonders, the Nighthawks. Following a tense interview conducted within his own dreams, Klein is recruited into the Tianjin City Nighthawks by the seemingly forgetful but remarkably capable Captain Dunn Smith. This marks his official entry into the hidden world of Beyonders. He chooses to embark on the Seer pathway, starting at Sequence 9. His training begins under the tutelage of the eccentric old Neil, where he learns about ritualistic magic, divination, and the grim realities of a Nighthawk's duties, all while concealing the enormous secret of his transmigration from another world. This period of experimentation leads to one of the most pivotal elements of the season, the Tarot Club. While practicing his newfound divination abilities, Klein is drawn into a mysterious, fog-shrouded space high above the material world. Here, through a convergence of rituals, he unintentionally summons two other individuals: Audrey Hall, a curious noblewoman who becomes the Spectator, and Alger Wilson, a devout but conflicted follower of the Lord of Storms. Mistaking Klein for a powerful, ancient being, they christen him the Fool, a persona he cautiously decides to embrace. The Tarot Club becomes his greatest asset, a secret forum for exchanging information, trading resources, and building a small, loyal faction, all while maintaining complete anonymity. The central mystery of the season revolves around the Antigonus Notebook and a growing conspiracy by the Secret Order to bring about a catastrophic event in the city of Tingen. Klein and the Nighthawks find themselves investigating a series of increasingly bizarre and dangerous incidents, from a haunting tied to Klein's predecessors to a possessed sealed artifact. These threads all lead back to a member of the Secret Order, Magos, who is being used as a vessel for the birth of a demigod's offspring. The Donghua adaptation moves at a brisk pace, condensing a significant portion of the source novel, but it retains the core investigative and mystery elements. This culminates in a brutal and heart-wrenching finale. The Nighthawks confront the threat head-on, leading to a desperate battle where the animation captures the visceral horror of the conflict. The climax is a profoundly tragic moment in the story. Klein is forced to witness the true cost of their duty as his comrades, including his mentor Dun Smith, make the ultimate sacrifice to prevent the ritual's completion. It's a devastating loss that fundamentally changes Klein and sets him on an entirely new and more dangerous path. The final episode of the season is a masterclass in tension and tragedy. The Nighthawks descend into an underground chamber to stop Magos, whose body is grotesquely transforming as she prepares to give birth to the spawn of the true creator. Captain Dun Smith leads the charge, supported by Klein, Leonard Mitchell, and other Nighthawks. Their initial plan involves using a sealed artifact, the singular brooch, to contain the area, but the power emanating from Magos is far beyond their expectations, causing the artifact to fail. The battle is desperate. The Nighthawks use their abilities and artifacts, but Magos, now a monstrous creature driven by instinct, is overwhelmingly powerful. The turning point comes with Captain Dun Smith's final, desperate act. Realizing they cannot win through conventional means, he makes a choice. Throughout the season, it was hinted that Dun struggled with the memories of his fallen comrades. In a shocking and poignant moment, it's revealed he had consumed their Beyonder characteristics to prevent them from falling into the wrong hands, a practice that put him on the brink of losing control. In the final battle, he unleashes this contained power and uses the ashes of a saint to seal Magos and her profane offspring, sacrificing his own life in the process. Just as a grieving Klein cradles his captain's body, a new threat emerges. Ince Zangwill, a former archbishop and now a traitor, who was secretly manipulating events. He appears, calmly kills the exhausted Klein, and steals a powerful artifact, advancing to the level of demigod. For a moment, all seems lost. Now, however, due to his unique connection to the mysterious gray fog, Klein is resurrected, but he awakens to a world where he is officially dead. His comrades are gone, his name is inscribed on a tombstone, and he is forced to leave his former life and his family behind. The season ends with a silent, heartbreaking farewell as Klein, disguised as a clown, performs a final bow for his siblings from afar before vanishing into the shadows, a changed man now driven by the weight of loss and a burning need for vengeance. The production studio created a donghua that has been lauded for its high production quality. The animation is notably fluid, employing a blend of 2D and 3D techniques to create cinematic and dynamic sequences, especially during the intense Beyonder fights and ritual scenes. The art style successfully captures the gloomy gas lamp aesthetic of the world, from the grimy, rain-slicked streets of Tingen to the eerie, otherworldly spaces of the spirit world. The world feels lived in and tangible, with a color palette that leans heavily into gothic tones, enhancing the atmosphere of horror and mystery. This is complemented by a hauntingly effective soundtrack and strong voice acting that grounds the characters and their emotional struggles. While some readers of the original novel have noted that the fast pacing of the donghua trims certain character moments and internal monologues, the original author, Cuttlefish That Loves Diving, was involved in the production, ensuring the adaptation remains true to the spirit of the source material. The first season was an intense and emotional journey. For those who have seen it, what was the defining moment of Season 1 that has stayed with you? Was it the accidental formation of the Tarot Club, the shocking conclusion to the Tingen conspiracy, or Klein's initial, fumbling attempts to understand his new reality? Share your thoughts in the comments below. What can we expect from Season 2? The end of the first season leaves us with a Klein who is fundamentally altered. He has survived, but at a tremendous cost. He is now more knowledgeable, more powerful, and irrevocably entangled in the world's deepest conspiracies. His objective is no longer simply to return home, it is now a quest for revenge against Ince Zangwill and to uncover the truths that led to the deaths of his friends. All indications point to Season 2 being titled Faceless, which directly corresponds to Volume 2 of the web novel and Klein's next advancement to Sequence 6 of the Seer Pathway. The title itself is revealing, hinting at a new chapter focused on disguise, infiltration, and identity. We can expect Klein to travel to the sprawling metropolis of Backlund, the kingdom's capital, a city far larger and more complex than Tingen. There, he will likely adopt the new identity of a private detective, Sherlock Moriarty, to operate from the shadows. Season 2 will almost certainly explore the conflicts between major factions in greater detail, including the psychology alchemists and the ongoing threat of the Secret Order. We will likely see Klein, under his new persona, taking on cases that involve gruesome serial murders and political intrigue, all while hunting for the ingredients needed for his next potion. He is also expected to create a new puppet persona within the Tarot Club, the World, to undertake riskier tasks without compromising his identity as the Fool. Furthermore, we will probably get more insight into the mysterious entity that resides within his former Nighthawk colleague, Leonard Mitchell, an ancient parasitic spirit from the Marauder pathway named Palez Zoroast. With a reported 30 episodes for the upcoming season, many of the pacing concerns from the first season may be addressed, allowing for more in-depth character development and world-building. If the production quality remains at this high level, audiences are in for an incredible continuation of this dark and intricate epic. The first season of Lord of the Mysteries set a high standard, delivering a story that is as intellectually engaging as it is visually impressive. The journey of the Fool has only just begun,